3 or 4 years ago, we did not have the technical answers. Today, we have them. And the question is how together we can use these tools to prevent this pandemic to come.
Ideally, there should be access to this vaccine globally. It should be at affordable prices. It may take third parties to basically help fund it in addition to the manufacturers. But there's no reason why an H5N1 vaccine that originates from a virus that's donated from Indonesia or Turkey or Vietnam or wherever doesn't result in vaccine getting back into those countries. It should get back in there. And as manufacturers, we would like it to get back in there. But we can't do it ourselves. The issue is you can't build a facility that sits idle. And I think that's a real concern that we have, is that hopefully we dodge a pandemic in the next several years. But if you build capacity, if it sits idle, it's basically going to become obsolete, because half of the issue is the capital and the other half is the skilled labor. And the more people produce product, the better they get at it. So we need to drive seasonal immunization rates up. And there's tremendous opportunity to do that. And I think as we build seasonal influenza immunization rates, you will see capacity go up, and you'll see capacity go up worldwide.
When you have global companies and you have global institutions that for the most part have worked at a country level or a local level, then you're seeing more and more of an importance of how all of this connects above and beyond the country level. And when you do that, you also get to see that the NGO community has become much more, and I'm not talking only about the policy piece, but also the actual delivery side. They become much more sophisticated and much more influential when you talk in Geneva across governmental or quasi-governmental bodies. So it behooves us in industry to really create more of a model to partner with these organizations, not only at a global level, but also at a country level. When you have the platforms for collaboration, then it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's avian flu or tuberculosis or other things, you really can activate those networks.
Today, we don't know what the probability of success, nor really what the precise clinical or regulatory pathway is for these new vaccines, which do not rely solely on hemagglutinin. We don't know what the criteria will need to be met in order to deploy these vaccines or accept them, either during a pandemic or even pre-pandemic.
What I think we've heard in the last day and a half, however, is that pandemic preparedness and response is not business as usual. And so I wonder if there's a way to think about how intellectual property is shared between companies, between universities and others, biotech, small, medium enterprises that are creating a lot of the new innovations. Is there a different intellectual property paradigm that isn't business as usual?
Given the profile of the vaccines that we have, we believe we have the possibility of preventing entirely the emergence of a new pandemic influenza by vaccinating people. The solution is there. This is being called pre-pandemic vaccination. We believe that's the solution. We believe that just waiting for the influenza pandemic to start and then try to rush and do everything in a few months is a strategy that I called a strategy to vaccinate the survivors. Access is probably the most important thing, and that's where I think the international community can work together to make sure that all the countries have access to the vaccines at a price which is affordable, whatever that is. And I think all the manufacturers have been pretty unanimous in saying that we are willing to work with the global international community to make those vaccines available.